Hi guys, today I am back with another story time. You might see me in a few videos with the same outfit on. That's because I'm pre-recording today because I have the time to do it. This is gonna be another story time to the Suicide Diaries. You might hear some little tunes in the background because my nephew's watching his learning thingies. So you might hear that, just ignore it if you can hear it because you probably won't. This is gonna be the time that I try to commit suicide on my 18th birthday. I am 19 now. I will be 20 in like 3 months. On my 18th birthday, I went to school. I had a good day at school. I mean, my friends gave me balloons, presents, a lot of hugs, a lot of happy birthdays. I had a lot of fun at school that day. And then when I came home, the plan was to go and get my hair and nails done. And that was because I was having a big party 2 days after my birthday, because my birthday was on a Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember. Anyway, the party was going to be on Saturday or Friday. So I was going to get my hair and nails done so that I would be pre-ready for that party and look good, you know, like any other girl would do. So instead of getting my hair and nails done, I came home and I had to babysit my nephew, which I don't mind. I never mind watching him, but on my birthday when I had plans, I mind. So I was told I was only supposed to be watching him for a few hours because when I got here, my sister was already gone. So I was okay for a minute, but the nail shops close around 5, in between 5 and 7 around here. So and school gets out at 2:40. I didn't get home until like 3:45. So it was already a limited time. I was fine with watching them for a few hours, but then a few hours turned into a whole bunch of hours. And then I was also told that my sister went to Seattle for what? I don't know. And then I just got really extremely irritated. So I had an attitude. So besides that fact that I had an attitude, my mom had an attitude about I don't know what, and she was going off on me all day long for I don't know what reason. And then I was sitting in my room, of course, with an attitude because I couldn't get my hair and nails done or whatever. So I was sitting in my room with my nephew. He was asleep, and then my mom is, I guess she was calling my name, but I didn't hear her. I mean, I don't know. She might have been downstairs, but I did not hear her call my name. So she came into my room, and then she's like,
"Oh, you don't hear me talking to you? You think you grown now because you're 18 and
a whole bunch of shit that parents say when you turn 18, because they all do it. And then I didn't respond to her because I don't argue with my mom, because if I argue with her or anybody else, it'll escalate into something else, because I'm not that kind of person that I will let somebody just sit there and talk shit to me. I don't care who you are. I just let my mom yell and do whatever she was doing, and I was letting it go in one ear and out the other. And it was making her madder, of course, because silence kills people. So she kept doing her little yelling thing, getting worse and worse, and it just frustrated me really, really bad. And then I was just frustrated, and every bad thing that ever happened to me just started coming back into my head. And this is what happens when people piss me off or make me mad. One little thing can trigger me, and I will think of any other reason on earth to be mad, and that's just how I am. So, after being mad about my mom, being mad about having to babysit, and being mad about still having a nappy hair and crusty ass nails, I took extreme measures. So, I was already mad, so I was crying, and I was texting my best friend, Tati. And you guys seen her in a few videos a while ago. Not recently, but you guys seen her in a few videos. That's my best friend. So I was texting her and I was telling her about it and how irritated I was. And she's like, oh, just don't worry about it. It's your day. You shouldn't have to deal with that, and a bunch of other stuff like that. So she was like pumping my head up to be okay. So I was a little bit okay. And then my mom, she was still talking shit. And I could hear her talking shit. And she was talking shit in her room to my aunt. So I heard everything she was saying, and I did not like what she was saying. I'm not going to repeat what she was saying, because she's probably going to watch this video. But anyway, my mom was still talking shit, and it was just driving me crazy. Like, you know, when people are saying rude things about you, and it was just driving me crazy, and I couldn't say anything back. 2 reasons: because that's my mom, and if I said something back, I would have escalated into something else. So I kept my mouth shut, and I ended up going into, there's this weird person outside this window just walking by real slowly. not trying to get robbed. We almost got robbed plenty of times in this house. But anyway, after hearing all that stuff, I just had a bunch of things going through my head, and at the time, I had been taking depression pills, anxiety pills, and pills that I take for breathing, because I have like a breathing problem. So I take pills for that. 3 different kind of pills I had. And I normally mix them into one bottle because they all look different, so I know which ones, and I'm supposed to take one of each of those like every day. But I was taking all those pills, and then I actually weren't taking them. So I had a bunch of them. I was supposed to be taking them, but I wasn't, because I wouldn't believe that I had depression. Every time I went to talk to my therapist or counselor at school, I just used to be like, no, you guys are full of shit. I don't have depression. That's crazy. And then, so I just let them kind of stack up there. And I also wasn't taking my breathing pills unless I actually couldn't breathe. So yeah, I'm kind of a dummy and wasn't taking my medicine as prescribed. So I had a bunch of them. So I took the bottle and I swallowed all the pills, and then I just sat there. And in my room, and my sisters were in there while I did it. Deviera, Lindra, and Nikema. We were all in my room. Nikema was in there, holding Kai. Lindra was on her phone. Deviera was on her phone. Or tablet, one or the other. And we were all sitting there. They watched me do it. And my sisters, like, they kind of were just sitting there for a minute. Like, I don't know if they were, like, in shock or they just didn't care or what. They were kind of just sitting there for a minute, still messing with their devices. And I'm sitting here waiting for the pills to kick in. And then, probably like 45 minutes later, they start kicking in. And I start getting a little woozy. And then my sister yells, "Mom, your daughter's in here trying to kill herself." That's what Nikema said. My mom says, "I don't care. Let the bitch die." And I heard that, even though I was kind of fuzzy in the head and in the eyes, I still heard it. I was sitting there, vision was blurred, everything was starting to spin, and then I can't remember if Debbie or Lindra called the ambulance or Nikema. One of them did. I'm believing it was Lindra or Debbie. I don't know. But one of them did. I can't really remember. Probably within like 5 minutes. I mean, I heard my sister on the phone talking to the police, and he's like, "Oh, can she walk?" or stuff like that. I don't know. Within like 3 to 4 minutes, they were here. It was like a SWAT team here. Like, it was crazy scary. It was like 10 big buff paramedics, and like there were officers and they were trying to like stand me up, because by then, this time, I was on the floor, like laid out. They were trying to stand me up, and they're like, "Can you walk? Are you stable enough to walk?" So they like stand me up, and I like almost fall down. And then they end up halfway carrying me, halfway letting me walk down the stairs, because in my house we have stairs, and we have 2 flights of stairs. So they go down like this, and you turn, and then you go down again, another one. So they ended up helping me down the stairs and into the ambulance and the stretcher. I don't know what my mom thought she was doing, but she was out there talking to one of the officers or the drivers, I can't remember. I was in the back of the ambulance, but I heard her talking. And all of a sudden, when I get to the hospital, like probably the next day after getting there, they made me drink charcoal that night. And then after I drank the charcoal, I actually fell asleep. But the next day after getting there, I was admitted into a psychiatric unit, and that's where psycho people go, apparently. And I was in there, and I was stuck in there for freaking 7 days, so I ended up missing my birthday party that I had. And I rented a condo and everything, and the shit just pissed me off. I was so pissed off. I ended up missing that party. But I was stuck in the psychiatric unit for seven days. It was in between 7 to 10, somewhere around there. I was in there for a while. But I was in there, and then a social worker came in to talk to me. Why? I don't know, because I was 18 years old, too old to be taken to the foster home. But a social worker came in to talk to me and tried to get a case on my mom. So they're trying to ask me, does my mom abuse me and all this craziness like that? And I didn't really answer much. I kind of just stared at them. Because for one, I was like hung over from a whole bunch of pills. 2, I felt that it was stupid for them to even come try to talk to me when I'm halfway grown. I don't need to be in a freaking foster home. And third of all, I have sisters. So anything my mom ever did to me, I couldn't even say something if I wanted to because my sisters still need my mom around. So, wasn't really answering them. And then, after being in there, the whole time I was in there, people were going crazy. I mean, these people were breaking windows, kicking their doors down to get out of their rooms, and all this crazy shit. There was like a garden we had to walk around and get musical therapy and all this weird shit. I couldn't stand it. So all I wanted to do was get the fuck out of there and go home. I was already pissed off that I missed my birthday party and had a suck-ass 18th birthday, which is supposed to be a big one that everybody likes. I didn't get that. It was a suck-ass birthday. And also, I was kind of, like, I don't know. I've been, this whole entire, ever since I was 15 years old, I always went to see a therapist and a counselor. This is confidential things that my sisters and my mom have no idea about. And I might know a few because I kind of told her about a few situations, but nobody knows that I went to see these therapists and stuff. I normally do it after school, or my mom thought I was in, like, studying or something after school in Scott Center or whatever you want to call it, or whatever happens after school. She thought I was doing that stuff when I was really seeing a therapist. And also during school, they would pull me out of class at times. And a lot of times I wasn't allowed to go to certain classes because some teachers would trigger pressure points. And I get into it a lot with my teachers, but they were never allowed to alert my mom about it because of confidentiality. So I was going through a lot of shit. So when I finally got admitted to a psychiatric unit, I did not like that shit at all. And normally when I try to commit suicide, I don't actually go to the hospital because the people I'm around when I do it are either too scared to call the police, or they just don't call the police or even let me go to the hospital. So there's only one person who's attempted to call the police to help me, and that was my best friend that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, that was my story that when I tried to kill myself on my 18th birthday. If you guys want to hear another story about my trip to the psychiatric unit, I will do that because that was crazy shit. But other than that, that was my suicide story today. Suck ass 18th. Don't be like me. Don't do that. You could always do your hair and makeup yourself. Your nails, you can just paint them. But fuck that shit. So anyway, that was the story for today. Thank you guys for watching. I will continue to do these suicide diaries for as long as I have the stories. And thanks to you guys who are subscribed to my channel. I really love the support and love. My nephew's tripping out, so I gotta go now. Bye, guys.